I didn't want to lead here. I don't want to start here. I thought we were done with this, but it's news. It pertains to our team and our quarterback, so we have to be on it. We have to at least talk about it. We are not going to go down a rabbit hole and spend any more than we need to on this. But
Absolutely
obviously
not.
you've seen the headline by now. A 26th lawsuit has now been filed by Deshaun Watson. There are some things different about this one. This did not go through the Tony Busby law firm. There is a different law firm that is handling this one. But a lot of the details sound very similar. Deshaun, according to the lawsuit, reached out to the licensed massage therapist, and that is different because as far as we know, most, if not all of the other women were not licensed massage therapists. Right. This one was. She alleges that they met in a Houston hotel room, which I never understood. You're going to get a massage. Why are you going to a hotel room? That would be the first tip-off to me that something other than a massage is going to go down. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I have a place of business.
Right.
You come to my place of business where there will be other people. I just don't understand that. But anyhow, she went there. He said, according to her suit, he was pressuring her to engage in sexual activity. She consistently resisted. Eventually, Aaron, plug your ears. I feel so dirty talking about this with a young child in the room. I really do. The whole thing makes me feel dirty.
Discarded.
But
right.
he finally persuaded her to perform oral sex on him. And now she said that she's suffering some negative effects from this whole thing. So she is clearly seeking financial payment for all of this. Guys, I don't even know. I mean, my first thing was, oh, no. And after that, I almost feel like I'm numb to this, and I think that's a bad thing. But, Bull, where are you?
Well, I'm going to be honest, as I always am. Not that I don't have sympathy for any woman that may have been potentially taken advantage of. I don't know enough about the situation to know what the reality is. From a personal standpoint, I'm kind of sick of talking about this, right? I'm sick of the story. To me, the story at this point, I'm not one of these people that's been saying, oh, Deshaun Watson's a great guy getting bad-mouthed by these women. I don't know the reality. Only people that know the reality, as we said before, is Deshaun Watson and the women. They're the only ones that know the truth. We all can make our judgments. Do I think Deshaun Watson's a great guy? I do not. Do I think he's done the worst thing that's ever been done in football? I certainly do not. Am I ready to just see him on the field no matter what happens at this point? I am. And I don't think this is going to affect...
Not no matter what happens. I mean, there would be allegations that we could hear about.
Sure.
So, of what we think we know right now.
Yes, what I know right now.
He's paying his price, and you're ready to see
it changes nothing for me. He's had his penalty. As part of the agreement, I know Tyvis actually retweeted this in our text chain yesterday, and I hadn't remembered this, that Mike Garafolo reported back at the time of the agreement in August that if any other allegations come up, as long as they took place before the agreement was signed, which is the case here, that you couldn't add penalties. So unless...
And we should stress that. The bottom line is he's coming back week 12.
It changes nothing.
Unless we hear of something that happened 3 months ago.
Yes, then that's a whole new ballgame.
Then we have a big issue.
But that's not the case because this is 2
goes
years
back to
ago.
2020.
Yeah.
So, and you're right, and I'm remiss. I sort of buried the lead. I should have started with he's playing week 12.
Right.
Even based on this new information.
Not based on this, nothing's changed.
We didn't hear anything last night when this suit was made public that would lead the commissioner or anybody. And by the way, the NFL and the commissioner has a much bigger nuclear bomb on their hands right now. In the Dan Snyder
case.
Dan Snyder is, now he's denied the report.
Right.
But if you know Dan Snyder, you believe this report.
He got his finger on the button.
He's saying,
play with me.
You want to run me out?
Yeah.
I've got all the goods. I've got dirt on Goodell.
And
you know what happens in the mafia? You know what usually brings the mafia down?
They do.
The mafia.
Yes.
That's right.
An informant.
And I'm not calling the NFL the mafia. What I'm saying is there's a lot of things, a lot of secrets inside that circle. And when that circle of trust is broken amongst one of the family members, that family member is going to sing. Dan Snyder, and I believe him. I do. I have no reason not to believe this report.
I bet he's got good dirt on Jerry Jones because they were buddies.
He saw.
Bull, I bet he has it on everybody.
On everybody.
He saw,
and by the way,
he has all the email.
At least the mafia is honest about what they do.
At least he saw what happened
with the Clippers and Sterling.
Yeah.
He saw what happened in Phoenix.
Yep.
And he told himself, I ain't going out like that.
No, or if I do, I'm bringing others with me.
You're going to have to come hang out with me.
And the quote was, bring it all down.
Yeah. I'll bring it
Like,
on.
you always use appropriately, you said that the Deshaun Watson attorneys had their finger on the nuclear code, on the nuclear button, because they could have forced discovery in other cases that the NFL does not want going
and Jay,
public.
And Jay, that's the only thing that can bring them down is them. Like, you got to think about it.
That's how big they
CTE didn't bring them down.
Yeah.
All of the emails didn't bring them down. None of these allegations. None of that.
Institutional racism.
All that.
So you and I, you and I, this is how we hear it, right? I hear it. You know, I see the print in text in the story. In slang language, he's like this. Oh, you want to do me?
Yeah.
I'm about to pull up on you. I'm gonna pull up. No, pull up. No,
I'm pulling up on you first.
I'm pulling up on you first. Right, and that means that you gonna do me? No, you're not gonna do me.
I thought it was interesting.
I'm gonna do you.
Last night during the Thursday night telecast, which again was like having hot oil poured all over your body, watching that.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. Absolute trash. And
But you had to know it going in that was going to be a bad game.
They got to
no
start
idea.
flexing
But,
these.
and by the way, they talked about the low scoring and how it's at like a 20
It
year
is.
low
That has
or whatever.
continued now through weeks.
It has. But what I found interesting was that Al Michaels, who's kind of in the, Bob Costas went nuclear on the NFL and their CTE and said, I'll never take another dollar with an entity that's involved with that. And now he does playoff baseball for TBS. He does Major League Baseball stuff, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But so if there's an equivalent to him, it's probably Al Michaels,
Right.
who's this institutional icon who got run out of Sunday Night Football by NBC.
Yeah.
Now he's at Amazon. If he was with NBC, he never would have made the comment that he made last night during the telecast. Bob said during the game,
Al.
Al, Al said during the game, while they're showing Dan Snyder, there's a report out that he's got dirt on the league. He basically gave the headline. And then he said, I think it's pretty clear at this point, Roger Goodell and the rest of the NFL just wishes he would sell the team.
Yeah.
Sure they do.
Yeah.
They absolutely do.
Of course.
But Al wouldn't have said that if he was a 45-year-old broadcaster who had 30 years.
No. Yeah.
He knows, I'm at the end of my
What are they
rope.
gonna
You've
do to me
already
now?
taken things away from me.
He's a multimillionaire.
He doesn't care.
They can't do anything
And
to
I
him.
thought it was really refreshing to hear someone inside the league say what we all know.
And here's the thing, guys. And sorry, Brad, but G mentioned our text chain about what Bernie said yesterday about the NFL. Like they're just waiting
for us to die.
Right? Think about it. If you read about this Dan Snyder stuff, the thing the other owners are most mad about is not all the inappropriate behavior there. It's not the losing. It's that they couldn't get a new stadium. That's what they care about most because they want money. They want stadiums. That's all those guys care about is the bottom line. That's all. And that doesn't mean all 32 of them are bad guys. There's probably some good guys in the group, or at least somewhat good guys.
Right.
But by and large, all they care about is dollars. They don't care about any of these. They care about when they make their decisions, it's all about what's going to make us more money or what's going to cost us more money. That's it.
To that point, in a world where one wrong move by the top dog can get you canceled and fired, when Ray Rice came out, the video, I read a long, lengthy piece. I think it may have been the Wall Street Journal. Someone wrote an op-ed that basically the entire thrust of the piece was any other corporation in America, the top guy is gone. Because remember, the commissioner gave Ray a slap on the wrist. Then we saw the video of him actually physically knocking his wife out in the elevator. And America was outraged. And the piece basically opined that any other corporation, the CEO that gave this employee cover is gone. The reason they didn't make the decision in that moment, and you'll remember his butt was in a sling. There were those that were screaming for his job. Ultimately, the 32 owners decided, we're making money. And we're doing it because he's the guy.
That's right. So they'll never get rid of it.
So let's not upset the apple cart.
That's right.
This too shall pass. It did.
It always does.
And there's Roger riding high.
Yeah.
When in reality, any other corporation, he's gone long ago. Go ahead, McNuggets.
I have one thing I want to add to the Dan Snyder thing, then I want to ask G a question, and we'll move on and we'll wrap up this.
Well,
Watson
Brad
thing.
hasn't really gotten a good comment in.
Those two can get in. But
Yeah.
the quote from the article yesterday that stood out, and this is a direct quote from Seth Wickersham's article, quote, "The NFL is a mafia. All the owners hate each other." The response, "That's not true," one veteran owner says. "All the owners hate Dan." Which, in that whole 10,000-word article, those two lines
I
stood
didn't
out.
read that.
Well,
That's
here,
interesting.
Here, stop.
That's not true. All the owners hate Dan. Back to the Watson thing, though, G, real quick. You put in the text chat last night. The timing of this was not surprising to you whatsoever. You want to elaborate on why you're not surprised at the timing of these new allegations?
Well, before we get to Brad, this was all part of the game plan. Like, when he was ready to get back into the building,
Keep coming.
he was back in the building, and now the pivot is, let's go ahead and slow drip this thing out. Now there's more people, because here's the reality: if they was doing these allegations, right? If they wanted these allegations and they were forthright about what they really wanted to do and come forward, he's been gone for what dang near 2 months.
Yeah.
They could have came out. One month ago, they could have came out 4 weeks ago.
G. Bush, they could have come out a year ago when this story came out. What my biggest problem with this, and if she is actually a victim, I feel horrible for her and everything she's gone through. But here is the one thing I just don't understand. You knew this was going on for a year.
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
Why why now?
Yeah.
To me, and my thing is like this, man. The way I feel about it is, I'm not going to drag. I don't know if they feel like they're going to just drag it on and keep dragging them and keep dragging it. In this country, he served his punishment. At the end of the day, everybody who does something wrong has a punishment. They deliver what they need to do, the deliverables. We don't know what he's done, but part of his mandate was to go get counseling and do all these other different things.
That's the only thing that's going to stop him from playing.
That's it.
Is he not following the counseling?
You know what?
Is there anything he's still doing now that gets brought up? That's it.
Do you guys think, though, that, because I thought about this, the league ultimately will have to rubber stamp his coming back on the field because there were stipulations. I think the biggest problem that he faces now is because this is still in the news cycle and it didn't go away, they might not be so quick to rubber stamp him and say, come on back. Not that they're going to relitigate all this, but I think it might make his road to return a little more painful for him because here comes another one.
Jay, this is here. Let me jump in here.
By the way, I don't agree with that. I just asked that question.
Jay, this is never going away.
I don't think it is.
So I don't know what happened between him and her, right? I don't have any idea. But
I left out one detail. He paid her $300.
no matter what he paid her.
No. The reason I bring that up is because her fee was $150.
Yeah, I saw that.
She took $300 in cash from him. To me,
Yes.
it sounds like a prostitution transaction.
It does.
Well, here's the deal, right? This is never going away because it could have conceivably happened, right? But now it looks like a money play. You late in the game, right?
Yeah.
Just weeks before I come back, now you jumping up with a new group, right? Now
And a new attorney.
A new attorney. Now,
I want to know why he's not with Tony Busby.
I said, is this because you saw the payday?
Yeah.
The word on the street is how much they got? Is this that now? Because you have to think that this will not be the only one, right? This may never go away. Some of this has to do with everybody in the world knows how much he got paid.
Yeah.
That's facts.
It's guaranteed cash
Public.
out there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's public knowledge.
He cannot.
You don't want here.
And it's guaranteed.
Let me tell you how
He gonna get it regardless.
Let me tell you how I'm coming at you, right?
Yeah.
I'm coming at you like this. Oh, you don't want this dirt in the news. You don't give me some cheddar. Yes, you are.
Exactly.
Yes, you are.
Especially now that he's
So you
settled.
don't know what's extortion now and what's not extortion now.
No, you're right.
This game is going nowhere.
What's interesting to me is I want to know. I hope somebody interviews Tony Busby today, and here's why I say that. Did Tony turn down this case?
Yeah.
Because Tony took everything.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's true.
if Tony turned it down, which I'm not saying he did. I'm saying if that's the case, then he must have known something about her that made her less credible than the other
You
women.
would have thought, because once you saw he had the bag, he had everybody, right? So why would you just not
And
jump
here's
in
the
here?
thing. What is the downside? Why would people say that? What is the downside from saying, giving an allegation? What's her downside?
None.
If it's not going to court,
See Jane Doe.
she's Jane Doe. Her name's not going to be listed. She's not going to have any sort of public outcry.
There is none.
There is no
Now
downside.
that doesn't mean it's not true.
Doesn't mean it's not here.
But
It definitely don't mean it's not true.
There's no risk for that
There is
person. If
no
it is
risk.
not true,
Right.
there's really no risk.
They just say, okay, well, we didn't win.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I think we chewed it up for as much
Yeah.
as we can on that. The bottom line is, unless new information comes to light, he's playing in Week 12.
Yes.
Presumably, he'll start against the Houston Texans in Houston.
It's just a
couldn't
mess.
Script
It's
what
that.
it
Week
is.
13,
It's a
by the way.
mess.
They
Yeah,
were-
Week 13.
Just wanna make sure.
12th
Game
of the
12,
year,
Week
Game
13.
12. All right.